Good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to the world premiere of Dionne Warwick, Don't Make Me Over. Yeah. My name is Cameron Bailey. I am the artistic director and the co-head here at TIFF. I want to thank all of you for coming out. Isn't it great to be in a theater again? Isn't it even better to be in a theater with a legend? I think so. We are thrilled to have this film by Dave Wooley and David Heilbroner here. I want to just acknowledge this beautiful house that we're in. We're really happy to be presenting films this year at the Visa Screening Room at the Princess of Wales Theatre. We want to thank Visa Canada for making that possible. This film is eligible for the Amplify Voices Award presented by Canada Goose. It's also eligible for the People's Choice Award in documentary and for the overall People's Choice Award as well. You decide those prizes. You can go online to tiff.net/vote to make your choice. We want to thank Mr. Smith Entertainment and Endeavour Content for providing us with this film, and a big thank you also to the Consulate General of the United States in Toronto for supporting the Q&A with the filmmakers. I guess that's that team over there. This was a hard year for, I think, most of us. The TIFF team spent most of the year at home, working from home, kitchen tables, basement in my case, lots of places where we don't usually do our work. And we watched a lot of movies. The whole team watched 7,000 films to put this festival together for you. There was a moment where I was sent this film, and I watched it at home, and I just lit up. I can't tell you. It really just brought so much brightness into what had been a very dark time. To see the story of Dionne Warwick, the musical skill she has, her sheer talent, her ferocious determination, her generosity. I felt like I'd died and gone to heaven, honestly, when I saw this movie. And I'm so thrilled that we're able to bring it to you first. You're the very first audience in the world to see this film. And the filmmakers and a woman I consider both an auntie and an angel have come to present it to you. So please join me in welcoming Dave Wooley, David Heilbroner, and Dionne Warwick.
Please be seated. I've always wanted to say that. First of all, I'd like to thank the Lord for giving us this blessing. Yes. Second of all, I'd like to thank my mother, who is here, because she produced me. Where's Mom? And my two lovely daughters, Vita and Davina Wooley. Thank you. Thank you, TIFF, for allowing us this amazing opportunity. A special thanks to Cameron and Joanna for believing in telling stories that usually go untold. This is a film about bringing us together. Also would like to thank my incredible co-director. Where's David? Give him a big round of applause.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome. This was 5 years in the making, and it was a joy, it was a passion, and simply put, I think at the end of those 5 years, I simply felt that the Dionne Warwick Don't Make Me Over documentary is what the world needs now. So we hope you enjoy it, and we love you. Don't forget to vote.
Well, usually when I stand before a microphone, You expect me to sing, but I'm not going to do that. I'd just like to say how excited and thrilling it is to be here, first of all. You have no idea what it took to get here. I mean, they want to know who you are and why you are. At any rate, I also want to take a minute to acknowledge the 20th anniversary of something that devastated the United States 20 years ago. We lost a lot of people through a lot of ugliness, our World Trade Center. So I want to take just about 30 seconds of silence in honor of those that gave their lives for me and for you as well. If you don't mind, if you take the 30 seconds with me, I'd appreciate it. Yes, it was 30 seconds. I watched. Please enjoy. Take the journey with me, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I had taking it myself.
If there's one lesson I've learned in making documentaries about amazing people and with amazing people, it's sometimes your best thing you can do is get out of the way. So I'll see you at the Q&A.
That was something, wasn't it?
You going up first? I guess. I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's bring them back out. We have the directors of Dionne Warwick, Don't Make Me Over, David Heilbroner, Dave Wooley, and Dionne Warwick, the star.
Where's David? This is not here. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. We love
Thank you so much.
What you think? All right.
There's a lot of love in this room. I have so much I want to ask you, and I know our audience will as well, but Dave, maybe I'll start with you. How did the idea of making a documentary about Dionne Warwick first come about, and what was it like to work with this firecracker in making this movie?
I'll start off, okay, Dave? Well, first of all, did you enjoy it? I told you at the beginning that I produced this, but my mother produced me. So I got to sit next to her, and she said a fly crew flew in our eye a few times while watching the movie. But before we get started, where's Wes Hall? Can you stand up for a second? Wes is our executive producer from right here in Toronto. Thank Wes.
Thank you, Wes.
We love you and your beautiful wife and family. Well, Dionne and I had the pleasure of co-authoring her autobiography, which I encourage you guys to pick up. It's called My Life as I See It. And while we were writing the book, you know, I had all of these incredible stories and anecdotes were part of the story. And every time we would write something, I was like, man, that would make a great documentary. That's a great story. Nobody knows this. And that was 10 years ago, by the way. And it took 5 years to do this. So that's where it all started.
And David, for you?
Well, it started when Dave Wooley called me up 5 years ago and said, hey man, you want to do a Dionne Warwick documentary? And I was like, come on, who wouldn't want to do a Dionne Warwick documentary? But Dionne, I knew what everybody knew. You're this incredibly successful, charted singer who has, changed the face of pop music over more than half a century. But I didn't know, and this is where I really became so impassioned about making this film, is what you've done for the world, completely independently of your career. And I love that we could pay tribute to it. So, give it up for Dionne, who has made the world a better place. That woman right there.
Dionne, your story is so unique. And when you see Smokey and Stevie and Gladys and Snoop, everybody recognizes what you've accomplished. And it wasn't just the music, it was all of the ground that you broke in the pop charts, doing things that other musicians had not been able to do. Can you maybe just take us back a little bit, and in a bit maybe more than we saw in the film, just talk about what it was like when you were starting out, where there was a clear divide between black music and pop music, which was not considered to be black, and you built that bridge.
First of all, I'm happy you enjoyed it, because I did too, all over again. When I started in the industry in the early 60s, long before a lot of you were even thought of, much less born. But I did not really know that there was a difference. I was singing compositions that were written specifically for me by two of whom I still feel two of the most prolific composers of our time, Bacharach and David. Excuse me. Until I started touring and visiting places like South Carolina and Mississippi and Arkansas and all those southern states of the United States, is when all of a sudden there was something called segregation, something I had never experienced coming from East Orange, New Jersey, where we did not have that kind of stuff. And I can't say that. I take that back. I'm certain that there had to be somewhere in those states, in the northern regions where I came from. However, I was never exposed to it. The street I lived on in East Orange, Sterling Street, and I still to this very day will tell you, it was virtually the United Nations. We had all nationalities, races, colors, creeds, religions. We all went to school together. We had neighbors that would come to my house and put their feet under my mother's table and eat a dinner or a meal. And I, in turn, would be invited to their homes, regardless of what race it was, put my feet under their table and eat a meal. So I never felt this ugliness. I call it stupid. That is the ugliest word in my vocabulary, stupid. And I look at segregation, discrimination, and all those kinds of things as stupid. And I, like I say in the film, and I say it frequently, people know that I have never said anything that I cannot repeat. But I truly feel that what I do for a living, singing and bringing hopefully joy and peace and happiness to your ears, I happen to be a messenger. I'm very, very careful about the message that I intend to bring to you through my music. That will always be, has been, and I think that this is the responsibility that I took on when I said, okay, I'm gonna go out here and make some people happy make me some money. But the main thrust of it is that you walk out of any performance that I've ever given with this. A big smile, because that's what it's really all about. And it ain't healthy.
Beautiful. Before we get to the audience, I want to ask you just one more thing. You have taken over TIFF's Twitter today.
Yes, I have.
And that's because you are the reigning queen of Twitter. I want to ask you, and I want to ask the filmmakers as well, about this incredible figure, Dionne Warwick, who has been a legend in music for many years and has reinvented herself again in the 21st century as a kind of a queen of social media. That sounds like a leap, but it comes so naturally to you, it seems.
Yeah, I tell you, my nieces and nephews, and my kids as well, were at my home one evening, and they were having such a good old time in my living room. They're giggling away, and they were just, their little thumbs were going crazy. And I walked in the living room and said, "Oh, what's so funny? What's going on here?" And Brittany, the elder niece at the time, said to me, "Oh, Aunt Dionne, we're on Twitter." I said, "Well, what is Twitter?" She said, "Oh, it's an app, and we were having a good time." I said, "Well, what are you laughing at?" And so she showed me some of the things that were being said on Twitter. And I wasn't too happy about that. I said, why are they calling each other's names, and why are they bashing each other this way? What's the deal here? So Brittany said, "I don't know, this is what we do." I said, "Well, this is what's going to stop." So I asked her, I said, "Well, show me how to do it. I want to giggle too." She said, "You really want to know?" I said, "Yeah, I really want to know." So she did. She showed me. And from that point on, I made my presence known on Twitter. I let the babies know, okay, grown-up is in your midst. And y'all gonna respect this grown-up. And the first thing this grown-up wants you to do is learn how to say what you gotta say with a smile, not a frown. See, because frowning gives you wrinkles. And smiling takes them away. As you can see, I smile an awful lot. And I gotta say that Jack, who is the CEO of Twitter, he was thrilled that I found my way into the world of twoting. Where have you been? Why have you been? He's thrilled, and I am too, that the shade has changed on Twitter. They understand. Like I told them from the very beginning, that I'm going to be asking questions because I'm nosy. I want to know. And I want you to ask me questions, and I will answer them, and they will. They do. I let them know, too, that I am learning as much from them as I hope they're learning from me. And apparently, it's working, and I'm thrilled about it. So I am the queen of Twitter, yes.
We love it.
I'd just like to say, Dionne, as you know, Dionne and I this is our 25th anniversary this year of being a business partners. Can you believe that? 25 years. I started when I was 2.
And I was just born.
But, one of the things that kind of captured my attention is, she's when you think about a leader, she's transformative. She takes her followers, and her followers become leaders. And if you think about her career, which you've just witnessed, from the 60s to the 70s to the 80s to the 90s, 2000, 2010, we're in 2021. She has been relevant through each decade. She never became an oldie but goodie act, And if you look at her peers, to be at just as relevant today as she was back in 1963, 64. And now to lead Twitter is unheard of. I think we need to give her a round of applause again. Unheard of.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, we have time for just one or two quick questions. There's, I think there's a lady over there. Yep. Her name is Dionne.
My mother, who passed away at a very early age, gave me that gift. I just want to say, on behalf of a whole generation of women who were inspired by your music and your class, thank you. Because you gave me an insight into who love was. Very young. That's when she passed away. And I really appreciate it.
Thank you, my darling.
For those who did not hear, it's a comment from Dionne, who was named Dionne by her mother, who's since passed, and she just wanted to say thank you.
Yes. Now, you're going to make me mess with my mascara, girl. Thank you so very much for that. Thank you.
All right, there's someone over here.
Want to know if the process of this film, is it possible you're going to reissue all your films, all your audio tracks, albums from the past years?
Question is, now that this film is out, will they re-release all of your music? Will we be able to hear it all?
Oh, well, you know what? That'd be wonderful if they did. We're in a fight now within the industry of getting paid. For those of you who may not know, we who record, the only people that have been able to reap a benefit from it through radio play have been those who are the composers of the songs. Those who have recorded the songs have not ever reaped any kind of recognition monetarily from it. And most people say, oh, every time your record is played, I know you're going to get some money. I said, no, I wish I did, but no. But we are now in Congress, and it looks very close that we're now able to get our due. I, of course, wanted to know if we could do it retrospectively. If we could go back to 62, but the answer was no. But those, no, we basically, I know my purpose basically was because we've lost so many of our really true stars, as far as I'm concerned, recording artists, people that have become friends over years. Their legacy should be recognized. That means that whatever they're able to now reap the benefits from radio play, their families now will reap that. So that's why we're fighting for that.
All right, we have time for just one more. Is there anyone up in the balcony who's got? Right there. Okay, yes, go ahead.
Where are
Hello.
you?
I'll just repeat
Yes.
briefly. The lady was asking, based on what she knows from her father's experience as a musician, and back in the day in places like Vegas, the black musicians would have to go through the kitchen to get to the stage, and she wants to know what for you was the most difficult or the most painful experience from that time, and is that something you'd be willing to share?
Oh, sure. You know, first of all, I fortunately was not a part of that particular era. You're talking about the 30s, 40s, the 50s, of which I was not even thought of within the industry. I was still in school at the time. it was not an easy time for them. I learned that from people like Sammy Davis Jr. and Lena Horne and Diane Carroll, those who did have to make the transition as they worked in Vegas in the major hotels. They couldn't stay in those major hotels. There were hotels in the lower parts of Vegas where they were black-owned, and that's where they stayed. Just for your information, we still walk through the kitchen to get to the stage. They seem to have just forgotten about the entertainer altogether. You know, it's only with the backstage area, you got to go through the kitchen to get to the stage. I mean, it's an ongoing thing. It has nothing to do with what was going on in those particular years. It just happens to be the route we have to take. I fortunately have never experienced anything like that in Vegas. I wouldn't have taken it anyway. Like I keep saying, I'm crazy. And everybody know it. So, but you know, there's certain things that you stand for, and certain things that you will not tolerate. That's another word that I've kind of negated from my vocabulary. Tolerate. How do you put that in your mouth, say you're going to tolerate me? You're going to either accept me or leave me alone. Okay? So, I've heard the stories, you know, and I'm sorry your dad had to go through that stuff. But, you know, it gave me the shoulders to stand on. And I fortunately have made progress for our babies coming up in the business. And I think my shoulders have gotten pretty broad. And a lot of them have decided to jump on them, which is a good thing. So we're making our way totally out of all that madness. You know, like I keep saying, it's stupid. And we got to stop with stupidity.
Amen. Thank you. One more thing. You were talking about all the years that you have been in the industry. I know you are celebrating a milestone year for yourself. You celebrated your 80th birthday.
Yes, I did.
Not too long ago. We wanted to help celebrate. We're a little late, but we wanted to help celebrate your 80th birthday, and we have a little something for you. So this is our gift from TIFF to you, Dionne Warwick, to celebrate your 80th birthday. It's a real cake. Don't eat it now, but we'll have it for you later. Happy birthday.
See what it looks like. Beautiful. And I'm gonna eat it later. It's really pretty.
To you, happy birthday to you.
It's coming.
Happy birthday, dear Dionne. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Well, listen. Okay, when this, keep this, you got a little pencil or paper, whatever you want to do. Write down the date, December 12th. And you can sing it in your house, or you can tweet it, or whatever you want to do. It'll be the next birthday for me. Okay? I do appreciate it, though. Thank you. Thank you.
Please join me in thanking again David Heilbroner, Dave Wooley, and Dionne Warwick. Thank you so much for being here.
Cameron, thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Don't forget to vote for the People's Choice Award.